You were told Jesus was born in winter, but the truth was hidden across prophecy, astronomy, and empire. It's not just about a date. It's about a design, and what it reveals about what's still to come. We were handed December the 25th like a wrapped gift, glittering, sacred, unquestioned. But beneath the ribbon lies something older, wilder, truer, not frost, but flame. The story never began in snow. It began in motion, in a census decree that stirred thousands like leaves in wind, in shepherds beneath stars, not shelter, in a priest's temple shift and an emperor's craving for order. It began in whispers of prophecy and echoes of ancient festivals. 7 clues burn through the centuries. They crack the shell of tradition. They point not to winter's heart, but to autumn's edge. The Feast of Tabernacles, when God once dwelled in tents, and then again. This is no calendar correction. This is divine choreography. One child, one birth, timed with cosmic precision. Step closer. The season is shifting, and time is not what you thought. It begins with the census, not just a bureaucratic moment, but a tremor in the foundations of empire. Caesar Augustus, draped in power, demanded order, a counting of souls, a mass migration. But above Caesar's command, another hand moved. Joseph and Mary, swept from Nazareth to Bethlehem, walked the steps of prophecy, not by chance, by design. Over 700 years earlier, Micah had spoken it. Out of you, Bethlehem, shall come the ruler of Israel. And yet, who would move thousands in the dead of Judean winter? Roman efficiency feared delay. The rains made roads into rivers. The cold made travel cruel. No empire would choose this season for control. But in autumn, during festivals, the people moved already. Fields harvested, roads clear, families gathered, census becomes convenient. In Rome's grasp for dominion, God hid his map. In their numbers, he hid his name. But numbers were never the whole truth. Because far from the palace, beneath the open night, another detail flickered, soft, overlooked, impossibly specific. Shepherds, awake outside, watching. In winter, they would have fled the fields, yet they stayed. Why? Because something ancient stirred the air, and heaven, watching with breath held, was about to speak in light. Keep watching, the sky is about to split. The stars told the story first, not with words, but with fire. In the Gospel of Matthew, the Magi come not out of tradition, but out of awe. We have seen his star in the east, they say, and that phrase opens a sky full of secrets. Astronomers trace the heavens backward, and what do they find? A rare conjunction, Jupiter and Saturn, blazing as one, in the constellation of the King, 7 years before the calendar's Christ. A cosmic announcement, woven not in myth, but in math. A beacon not just of wonder, but of timing. The Feast of Tabernacles, September, the time when Israel remembered wandering and God dwelling in tents beside them, and now again, God with us, Emmanuel. Born not in December's stillness, but in autumn's revelation, a star not merely rising, but pointing, not to a holiday, to a throne. But what is a throne without a king? And what is a king without obedience? As stars announced one birth, another king's legacy trembled in its shadow. A man who once was the light of Israel, wise, chosen, crowned. Yet even divine wisdom, unguarded, can rot, and Solomon begins to fall. Solomon was not born into purity. He rose from ashes, the son of a scandal, born of David and Bathsheba in the wake of betrayal and blood. But from that broken soil, God raised a king. At just 15, Solomon inherited more than a throne. He inherited tension, prophecy and politics, favor and fear. And when the Lord asked him what he desired most, Solomon did not ask for power. He asked for wisdom, the kind that sees into the marrow of a thing. And God gave it. His judgments astounded. His alliances multiplied. His words became scripture. His temple, carved from stone and gold, stood as a crown for the city of God. He was the flame of Israel, the mind of heaven in human flesh. But no light burns forever unless it is anchored, and Solomon was not anchored. Not to law, not to covenant, only to desire. Desire does not scream at first, it whispers. And Solomon listened. One alliance turned into 10 into 100, 700 wives, 300 concubines, 1,000 voices, each carrying a different god into Jerusalem like smuggled fire. Altars rose beside the temple he built, statues of Ashtoreth, of Molech, shadowed offerings that mocked the gold of the Holy of Holies. The man who once judged between two mothers now could not judge between truth and longing. And so the kingdom cracked, not from siege, but from soul. In the very heart of God's city, Solomon no longer mirrored the Creator. He mirrored man, brilliant, wandering, divided. This is the pivot point. This is where wisdom becomes memory, and shadow begins its reign. And still, even in decline, Solomon left behind echoes. Proverbs carved with diamond-edge clarity. Ecclesiastes, a lament in the voice of a soul that tasted everything and found it dust. Meaningless, meaningless, everything is meaningless, but not bitter, not hopeless. A warning wrapped in gold-leafed pages. Do not chase the wind. He had touched the heights, dined with queens, built kingdoms with breath and wisdom. But in the end, he returned to the simplest truth. Fear God. Keep his commands. Even in his ruin, Solomon became a mirror, one that reflects not a failure but a question. What are you building? For even the grandest palace will fall if its foundation is not fireproof. And only one king ever built with flame that does not fade. And here, the two paths converge. One king born in splendor, ending in silence. One king born in obscurity, crowned in eternity. Both chosen, both named, but only one obeyed. The feast, the star, the tent, the temple, all of it now turns toward the great divide. Jesus did not inherit a throne. He inherited a mission. No palace, no gold, no harem, only dust, blood, and the weight of prophecy. And yet, he fulfilled what Solomon fractured. Where Solomon built a temple, Jesus became it. Where Solomon made alliances to secure peace, Jesus broke himself to bring it. Where Solomon bowed to idols, Jesus withstood the wilderness, the cross, the grave. He was born not just into the world, but for it. His birth during the Feast of Tabernacles is no coincidence. It is code. It is poetry. It is incarnation wrapped in timing. God did not dwell in tents again. He became the 10th. And this time, no shadow could contain him. Jesus did not inherit a throne. He inherited a mission. No palace, no gold, no harem, only dust, blood, and the weight of prophecy. And yet, he fulfilled what Solomon fractured. Where Solomon built a temple, Jesus became it. Where Solomon made alliances to secure peace, Jesus broke himself to bring it. Where Solomon bowed to idols, Jesus withstood the wilderness, the cross, the grave. He was born not just into the world, but for it. His birth during the Feast of Tabernacles is no coincidence. It is code, it is poetry, it is incarnation wrapped in timing. God did not dwell in tents again. He became the 10th. And this time, no shadow could contain him. So what do we crown now? Tradition or truth? One king led Israel to its golden peak and down into fracture. The other came without crown or throne and split history in two. But his story isn't finished, and what comes next is not about birth. It's about return. Yes, he will return. But not in the silence of a manger, not hidden in straw and stars. He will come in thunder. The king who once entered through shadows will now ride the wind. The one born beneath the feast will return to fulfill it, no longer wrapped in obscurity, but crowned in glory, eyes like flame, voice like many waters. Solomon's line shattered, his temple crumbled. But the true temple walks again. This is not just the end of a mystery, it is the beginning of a reckoning. You have seen the fracture, a king crowned by strategy, undone by shadow. A child born in obscurity, revealed as fire. One carved altars to idols. One became the altar. The clues, once scattered, now stand as pillars. The census, the shepherds, the star, the feast. History did not lose his birth. It encoded it, waiting for eyes to see. The incarnation was not wrapped in tradition. It was written in time itself. And now, unsealed before you. And now, bright pawns. The veil is gone. You do not walk in borrowed stories. You are heir to precision, to prophecy, to a design older than empire and deeper than doctrine. The king you follow was not born of myth, but of meaning. His arrival shattered silence. His life rewrote fate. His presence is not seasonal. It is sovereign. Rise from ritual. Stand in revelation. You carry the flame now, so walk with us, not as watchers, but as witnesses. There are more scrolls to open, more patterns hidden in plain sight, more thrones that rise and altars that burn. This is not just a channel. It is a gathering of those who see beyond the veil. A circle of fire, a map of the divine. Bright pawns, return to the library, light another lamp, and bring someone who still walks by borrowed light. The night is breaking. Over ruined thrones and silent temples, dawn ignites the stones. The star that once hung over Bethlehem now burns in your chest, unquenched, unyielding. The story does not end in exile, it rises from it. The sky remembers, the earth remembers, and so must you. Let the kings fall, let the truth rise, let the fire speak. Not born in winter, born in wonder, not tradition, tabernacle, not silence. Design, not December. Divine. The season was never the center, the king was.